Black single dad buys an old diner to start over, then meets the CEO who fired him. The first customer who walked into the old diner had no idea the man wiping down the worn wooden counter had once managed million-dollar contracts in a towering office downtown. Even fewer people knew that the same man had lost everything with a single unexpected meeting, and that before this week was over, the very CEO who had ended his career would step through the diner's front door, changing both of their lives forever. At 38, Zaire Holloway had learned that life could change without warning. As a devoted single father, every decision revolved around his cheerful 8-year-old daughter, Nyimai, whose endless optimism often carried them through difficult days. After years of loyal service at a successful food distribution company, Zaire believed hard work guaranteed stability. Instead, a corporate restructuring placed everything in the hands of a new CEO, Corinne Ashford, who made rapid decisions based on reports rather than personal experience. One brief meeting ended Zaire's employment. Despite trying to explain the value he brought to the company, the decision was final. Carrying a small box filled with family photos and personal belongings, he walked out of the building wondering how he would explain everything to his daughter. Months of searching brought countless interviews but no permanent opportunities. Bills piled higher, savings disappeared, and hope seemed to shrink each passing week. Yet every evening Nyimai reminded her father that tomorrow could always be better. Her unwavering faith inspired Zaire to stop chasing the life he had lost and begin building a new one. One afternoon, while driving through a quiet neighborhood, he noticed an abandoned diner with faded paint, cracked windows, and a weathered sign hanging by a single chain. Most people saw a forgotten building. Zaire saw possibility. With the last of his savings and a small community loan, he purchased the property. Friends questioned his decision, but he believed people were hungry for more than good food. They longed for kindness, conversation, and a place that felt like home. The months that followed tested every ounce of determination he possessed. Zaire repaired tables himself, painted walls late into the evening, fixed broken appliances after watching instructional videos, and accepted help from neighbors who admired his commitment. Nyimai proudly greeted volunteers with homemade lemonade, turning strangers into friends. Slowly, the neglected diner transformed into a warm gathering place filled with sunlight, fresh flowers, and the comforting aroma of homemade meals. Word spread quickly. Customers returned not only because the food tasted wonderful but because everyone was welcomed like family. Elderly neighbors found companionship over morning coffee. Traveling workers discovered generous portions and genuine smiles. Children received encouraging notes tucked beside their sandwiches. The diner became a symbol of hope in the neighborhood. One bright afternoon, just as lunchtime began, a sleek black car pulled into the parking lot. A professionally dressed woman stepped inside, looking tired despite her polished appearance. Zaire recognized her instantly. Corinne Ashford. The CEO who had dismissed him without truly knowing him. For a brief moment, old disappointment resurfaced. He remembered sleepless nights, unpaid bills, and the uncertainty that followed losing his career. Yet he also looked around the lively diner, saw Nyimai laughing with regular customers, and realized that resentment no longer held power over him. Corinne quietly ordered the daily special and sat near the window. She seemed surprised by the welcoming atmosphere as customers chatted across tables like lifelong friends. Without recognizing the owner immediately, she complimented the staff for creating such a comforting place. When Zaire personally served her meal, recognition slowly appeared across her face. Embarrassment replaced confidence almost instantly. She admitted she never expected to see him there. Zaire simply smiled and wished her an enjoyable lunch before helping another customer. That small act of grace lingered in Corinne's mind far longer than she expected. After finishing her meal, she asked if they could speak privately. She confessed that the company had struggled since letting experienced employees go. Numbers had improved briefly, but morale had collapsed. Customer relationships weakened, talented workers resigned, and she had spent months wondering where she had gone wrong. During leadership reviews, several managers mentioned one employee whose kindness and integrity had held entire teams together. That employee was Zaire. She apologized sincerely for making decisions based solely on spreadsheets instead of understanding the people behind them. She admitted that she had mistaken efficiency for leadership and forgotten that businesses succeed because of trust, compassion, and character. Zaire listened quietly. The apology could not erase the hardship he and Nyimai had endured, but he recognized genuine regret. He explained that losing his job had felt devastating at first, yet it unexpectedly led him toward a purpose he never imagined. This diner had become more than a business. It had become a place where lonely people found friendship, struggling families received free meals when needed, and hope was served alongside breakfast every morning. Corinne looked around once more, noticing details she had overlooked earlier. Every employee smiled naturally. Customers greeted each other warmly. A small bulletin board displayed community achievements instead of advertisements. The diner wasn't simply successful, it was healing people in quiet, meaningful ways. Inspired, Corinne proposed a partnership. Her company would source fresh ingredients from local farms through Zaire's diner, while together they would launch a community program providing culinary training and employment opportunities for parents rebuilding their lives after setbacks. Zaire considered the offer carefully. He wasn't interested in returning to his former career, but he believed helping others find second chances was worth pursuing. Over the following months, the partnership flourished. Former job seekers became confident employees. Local farmers expanded their businesses. Families gathered in the diner knowing every meal supported opportunities for someone else. Corinne visited often, not as an executive seeking praise but as a volunteer serving meals beside the very man she once underestimated. Nyimai loved watching customers leave with full hearts as well as full stomachs. She often whispered that her father's biggest success wasn't buying the diner. It was refusing to let disappointment make him bitter. As the seasons changed, the old building with the faded sign became one of the town's most beloved landmarks. Visitors traveled from neighboring communities to experience the welcoming atmosphere they had heard so much about. Many arrived expecting delicious food but left inspired by the story behind every smiling face. Special request: if this story touched your heart, comment below with, "Kindness creates new beginnings." If this story inspired you or reminded you of the power of kindness, please like, share, and subscribe to Heartwarming Tales so more people can discover stories that bring hope and encouragement. Sometimes the door that closes behind us isn't the ending we fear but the beginning we never imagined. Zaire lost a career, yet he discovered a calling that transformed not only his own life but the lives of countless others. Corinne learned that true leadership begins with humility, while Nyimai proved that hope can flourish even in the hardest seasons. Together they showed that forgiveness does not erase the past, it creates space for a brighter future. No matter how difficult today may seem, kindness, perseverance, and compassion have a remarkable way of turning life's greatest setbacks into its most meaningful new beginnings.